Welcome to the Igniting the CEO Within podcast, where we interview successful high-level professionals to discover lessons they've learned throughout their career that can help ignite that CEO within you. I'm Mark McFatridge, and I'll be your host for the next 15 minutes or so. Our show is sponsored by Quaid, a nationwide community of CEOs and entrepreneurs. Quaid has developed Launchpad, which offers an opportunity for experienced executives to become licensed circle directors and earn significant recurring revenues. After completing the Launchpad program, you'll lead your own peer advisory circles, helping other CEOs and entrepreneurs excel in their professional and personal lives while providing a community of accountability, challenge, and support. If you'd like to learn more, go to quaidcircle.com. Really excited about our show today. We've got Ryan Wilkins. He's the CEO of Wilkins Collective out of Columbus, Ohio. Ryan, welcome to Igniting the CEO Within.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm honored to be here and excited to talk about this.
Awesome. Ryan, I'm just going to jump right into it, man. And just taking a look at your background, getting to know you a little bit, you've seen some great stuff in your career, and you've seen what I would call excellent leaders and maybe not so excellent leaders. And so if you had to take a look at what separated those two, what would that be?
Well, first of all, that's a really good question. And I'm sure that everyone can kind of identify with that idea that, we've all been led by people that we appreciate their leadership and maybe others that we had higher hopes for them. But to me, the thing that separates good leaders from leaders that leave something to be desired are two things: authenticity and care. I think so much of what happens in leadership situations is convoluted by the ego of the person who's leading. And if you as a leader can truly live humbly and I really believe in servant leadership, to adopt an idea that I'm here to help this person to become everything that they dream of, and then passionately dive into that. That's where I think leadership success occurs. Where it falters is when you're only thinking about yourself. You're only thinking about, how is this situation affecting me? How is this going to make me look? And, me. So as much as you can as a leader, focus on the people that you're trying to help move forward as opposed to yourself. I truly believe that's the secret to quality leadership.
Yeah, I love that. I think I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think, we try to make leadership way more difficult than it is, right? And if you boil it down, there are really only two or three things that the leaders are really supposed to do. And one is to set vision, right, of where we're going, how we're going to get there, and then help the people on their team understand what their role is. The second thing is to remove barriers for their
Hmm.
teammates, right, so they can help achieve and do what they need to do. And then the third thing is help grow their teammates to reach their potential, understanding that that potential may not be within their own organization, that they may need to go outside to reach where they truly are. So I think that ties exactly along the lines with everything that you're saying, that it's not about me as the leader, it's about the people that are on my team.
Yeah, I think you're dead right. And the one thing that I think most people miss is the only thing that anyone that you lead will ever remember is how you made them feel.
Hmm.
And so as I'm sitting here just thinking about the different people who I have been able to be led by in my life, I really don't remember the specific things they did or didn't do. Um, Really, what I remember is how they made me feel. And
Mhm.
if we can help people to feel that empowered, help them to feel that they have agency, that they are that they're intelligent, that they're capable, and like you said, kind of give them the tools to be able to be successful. Give them that framework that's going to allow them to blossom, to become everything that they can be. That is the secret to, I think, really filling people up. I am, I'm a big advocate of encouraging people to be the best version of themselves. The biggest mistake that I think a lot of people make is they see an archetype of someone. Maybe there's someone they really look up to, or
Hmm.
a type of person that they think they're supposed to be,
Right.
and then they start kind of modeling that in their life, and then they become sort of like a caricature of whatever that is, and it's
Right.
all in good intentions. I don't think anybody's trying to do anything weird, but unfortunately that's just not what people need. What people need is 100% authentic you. And I have to tell you, this is one of the hardest things that I've had to figure out in my career, because I when I was younger, I had some insecurity. I wasn't totally sure of, how do I show up in the workplace.
Yeah.
I have an interesting background, and I made a living as a musician, so I had a little bit of imposter syndrome, being an executive. Like, do I do I really fit in this world? And the more that I realize that, no, none of that matters. What matters is, I just need to be the most Ryan version of Ryan that I possibly can be,
Yeah.
and then let the cards fall where they may. And come to find out, people actually like me more when I'm just myself.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest one of the biggest mistakes I've made in my career was just being too guarded, not letting people really see the real me.
Hmm.
And that gives people a feeling of like, is this can I really trust this person? Even if you're totally trustworthy and everything you're
Yeah.
saying is true, if you're kind of guarded and not willing to open up for people, it gives them reason to pause. So I really think leaders need to be more open, more authentic, more transparent. Like, hey, I don't have everything figured out. I'm
Yep.
not the ultimate answer person, but we can figure this out together. Man, I think if you could say those words to someone that you're leading, that unlocks something in them to say, wow, okay, this person it's a real person. They have struggles just like me, and they trust me to navigate this situation together. I don't know. What do you think of that?
No, I love the whole path that you're going down. As a matter of fact, I've got a phrase that I started using maybe 4 or 5 years ago, unapologetically authentic, right?
Mm,
Because
yeah.
it's I am who I am, and I'm comfortable with that. But similar to you, not the musician side, I have zero talent there. But a long time ago, right? I grew up in the world of banking, and in the first bank that I worked at, it was a navy blue suit, white shirt, conservative red tie. That was
Mhm.
our uniform. Like it
I bet.
it wasn't in the manual, but it was our uniform, right?
Mhm.
And A, I don't like ties, and B, I hate that conservative approach, and so but that's what I did, right? Because I wanted to get promoted. I wanted to do the right things. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to
Yeah.
emulate the leaders that were there because that's what you knew. And then all of a sudden, I started getting exposure to bank presidents, and I'd sit in a room and I'd be like, I'm smarter than that guy. I'm just as smart as that guy. That guy's a knucklehead, right? Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
hmm, all right, I don't need to do this because I'm
Mm,
emulating stuff that I don't even want to be, right?
mm,
And if I start to do that, so I was very fortunate to have those opportunities where I could stop wearing ties, and all of a sudden I could be myself. And like you, once I started doing that, man, the rocket ship just took off from a career
mm,
standpoint because I didn't have to think, right? I just had to be me, and I'm pretty good at that, is what I found out. And then the cool thing as a leader is you find out that if you emulate that, and you I don't want to say allow, that sounds awful, but if you encourage that in your organization wide, man, your people thrive, which means your organization thrives, which means we do all the stuff that you said up front of, here, let's get everybody to reach their potential, and now we're just rocking and rolling, and that's a blast.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm dead on. You and I are completely aligned there. That's
Love
great.
it. It's great.
Yeah. Very cool. The one thing I'd be curious. So, you kind of talked about it of the insecurities and overthinking. What where you should be and all this kind of stuff. How did you get over that? And I just what were some of those steps? Because it's not an easy thing.
No, it's not. Unfortunately, I think the things that were the greatest teachers to me were the deepest valleys.
Mm.
And I know that's not what people want to hear because
Yeah.
nobody wants to have to go through difficult circumstances in life. But the greatest moments of growth for me have been situations where uh, I I had to learn something new. And I very fortunately haven't had a lot of like devastating situations in my career. Like job wise, I was in the chief marketing officer at Ronald McDonald House Charities here in Columbus for almost 17 years. A great career there, loved it. Started my own business a couple years ago. It's been really successful. Very thankful for that. But in my personal life, I went through a divorce. That was a devastating situation for me
Mhm.
personally, but that really forced me to kind of take stock of how I was showing up in the world. I'm
Mhm.
a huge advocate now of therapy. I'm super thankful for people who gave me really wise guidance through that time and helped me to understand um, how to show up authentically, how to be who I really
Yeah.
am, and yeah, I really do believe that the crucible of difficult circumstances is probably the thing that has helped me the most.
Yeah. No, that's great. And thanks for sharing that, and thanks for being vulnerable. I think that's really cool. I think the other thing that I'll add to that is we all think that at 21 or 22 years old we've got it all figured out of who we are and who we're going to be and all that kind of stuff, and that's just the beginning. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
I think that once we realize that we are an evolution and who we are today is going to be different than who we are a week from now. If we start, if we expose ourselves to different experiences, different cultures, different whatever, and we open ourselves up to learning and trying new things and failing and all those things, we're going to be a different person, and
Yeah.
that's awesome, right?
We
Like,
should be. Yeah, we
right?
should allow ourselves to grow and if you look back 10 years and you're the exact same person that you were, I think something's off there. Like I'm a very different person now at 49 than I was at 21 with
Yeah.
your example. And I really did. I thought I had everything figured out. It was pretty arrogant. I think most young men probably are.
Oh yeah, we're all
And
idiots. Yeah.
I loved to punch holes in other people's leadership styles or ideas or whatever. And now I think the practice that has taught me the most is finding my noble purpose. And
Mm,
what I mean by that is the thing that sort of is the spark that inspires you every day, like the thing that you know this is what you're supposed to do. So for me, I went through an extensive process of trying to figure out what that was, and I landed on I'm a helper. That is my noble purpose. My purpose is to help. So, what does that mean? Everything that I do every day, I have to figure out how I can be a helper in that situation. So, if I can be 100% present, so like with
mhm.
you right now, I've got plenty of other things going on. If I'm not focused on you and the conversation that we're having, I'm not doing you any good. I'm not doing your listeners any good. I'm not doing myself any good. If I'm worrying about all the stuff I got to do later today or something that happened earlier this morning, I need to be 100% present with you.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then I need to make sure that I am breathing life into that noble purpose, the thing that I know that I'm here to do. So I feel like if everyone can kind of do that, that then becomes the lens that you can see every situation through. And for me, it's made my life so much simpler because I know, okay, I'm here to help. So when I sit
Mhm.
down with my clients, I get to do that every single day. I get to help them to be successful. So I do everything I can to help them. And what that also does is it takes all of the pressure off of the that self-preservation that we talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm not here for myself. I'm not even here to figure out a way to make money in my business. I believe that if I just dive deep into my noble purpose and do that, that everything else will work out the way it's supposed to work out. And lo and behold, that's really proving to be true. So, yeah, I think there's so much that when I was growing up, I graduated from Ohio State in 2000. So like it was right at when I feel like the communication revolution was happening.
Mhm.
I'm that weird generation that grew up without really digital devices, but
Yeah.
then got a cell phone like basically right when I was graduating from college. And so I've kind of been in both worlds, and things have changed a lot. And really probably for the better. I mean, that whole idea that you've got a work life and you've got a home life, and those two things are totally separate, and you're like almost two different people. Yeah, like, that idea is dead, and I'm thankful for that. And now we have to figure out how to give, especially young people, the tools to know that they can show up authentically,
Yep.
to be their true selves, and then help them to feel empowered to live that out every single day with passion and really give everything that they've got.
Ah, man, you got me fired up. That's awesome. No, I really I believe in everything you said. Um, and I think the one cool thing that has evolved out of this, right? And you hear all these studies about generations and different ways that they go about things. I contend that there are fewer differences between generations than is being purported out there. I believe that we all want the same thing, which is to be heard, to
Hmm.
care about what you're going after, to whatever. We may go about it slightly differently generationally, but tagging on with what you said is I think if we can coach these young folks coming up to align with organizations that fit their mission and their vision and what excites them and gets them fired up, then they're going to be way happier than trying to be in that corporate cloning that we participated in earlier in our
Yeah,
careers, right?
yeah,
And so they'll have a leg up on us, right? It took you and
yeah.
I and our generation to 20 years or more
Hmm.
to figure that out and get into it, where if they now have an opportunity to do that right away. And man, how what better lives can they lead than we did? We learned and we figured it out, but man, it would have been easier to just jump right into it and love what you do and have a passion for it instead of whatever whatever it was we were doing back then. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
The
very
other thing I would say, on that subject is, I think the greatest gift that you can give to people around you is your enthusiasm. And so much of our world right now is like so tightly curated, and people, they sometimes they're afraid to really kind of give their full energy to something because they want to seem cool and laid back or whatever it is. But
yeah,
I'm telling you, the greatest thing that you can do is show people your true enthusiasm, to give your energy to the thing that you're doing. And especially for young people, I feel like there's there is a little bit of a lack of and I'm not sure exactly why, but
yeah,
if we can help teach people that, man, just show up and give yourself in that moment and ring it out. It's like, I grew up playing sports, so the thing I remember most from my coaches is, leave it all on the field, right? And I feel like that mentality is, unfortunately, it doesn't feel like it's as prevalent anymore. But I think it
Mhm.
would be good if we would culturally get back to like, hey, let's show up and really give our all, give our best. Let's work hard together, and it's almost like working hard has become a bad word these days. I'm not sure why, but
Yeah.
there's so much value that's found in giving yourself to something.
Yeah. Yes, on all that. I think the key to that, right, is kids. I'm going to say kids, the generation that's out there today that's entering the professional world, have so many things that they're exposed to, and maybe it gets watered down because there are so many options.
Yeah.
And I think I agree with everything you said. I think if you're going to give your all to something, I think you need to narrow it down and say, this is what I'm going to be excellent at. And this is where I'm going to put my enthusiasm in, whatever. And I'm going to have to let, whatever these other 17 things, like, I care about them, but it's not what I'm super passionate about. So let's just go crazy on this stuff and focus and drive through that.
Yeah. Or just be authentically enthusiastic about whatever it is that you're doing in the moment. Like
Yeah.
I feel like if you can just give your energy to what you're doing and don't be distracted by what's happening on your device, and don't be distracted by the drama going on with your friends or family or whatever. Like, just be fully present and give that energy to the moment. There's something special that happens there.
Yeah, I like that. I hope we're not sounding like, the old man that says, "Get off my yard," but, right? All right. Hey, this has been awesome. I think you and I could go for another hour or 2 hours just talking about stuff, but I'm gonna start to wrap this up. Here's my
Okay.
last question for you. If you
Okay.
look at 21-year-old Ryan, what is something that you wish he would have known that you've learned between then and now?
People will love and accept you for who you really are,
Love it.
and that's the greatest lesson that I've learned in my life. That um, yeah, you don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to try to be someone that you're not. You can just be who you are, and people will love and accept you, just as you are.
I love it. I love it. Thanks for that. Hey, do me a favor, share with our listeners, how what an engagement with Wilkins Collective looks like, and how do they get a hold of you?
Well, so we're a full service marketing agency. We do mainly content marketing, so not really on the analytics side of things. More storytelling,
Yeah,
on the brand side of things. So our website is wilkinscollective.com. Anybody can email me. I'm Ryan at wilkinscollective.com. I'd be happy to talk to anybody. We're always looking for new clients, exciting things to work together on. And like I said, I'm a helper. I want to come in and help people reach their goals. So that's my noble purpose, and I'm inspired to do it every day.
I love it. I love it. Man, thank you so much for taking some time and hanging out with us today. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. It was good talk.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, y'all, we've done it again. We've identified another amazing leader that had just some great insights that will help you become that CEO that you always want to be. As a reminder, Igniting the CEO Within is sponsored by Quaid, a nationwide community of CEOs and entrepreneurs. Quaid has created Launchpad, which provides an exciting opportunity for experienced executives to become licensed circle directors and earn significant annual recurring revenues. To find out more, visit quaidcircle.com. Until next time, keep igniting that CEO within you. I'm Mark McFatridge. Thanks for listening.